Why is it that the loudest voices are often rewarded and the quietest ones forgotten? Why does society seem to elevate narcissists, the manipulators, the charmers, the bold, while the empaths, the listeners, the healers are drained, dismissed, or even destroyed? This isn't just your imagination. Psychology, history, and philosophy, especially the work of Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, all point to a disturbing truth. Modern society is designed to reward narcissism and punish empathy. Let's break down why this happens and what it means for you. Carl Jung believed the psyche is made of archetypes, universal symbols of human nature. One of these is the persona, the mask we wear to navigate society. The narcissist doesn't just wear the mask, they become it. They curate every detail of their public image. They don't feel shame when lying, they feel entitled to bend the truth. Why? Because society today rewards the illusion of confidence over the substance of integrity. From influencer culture to boardroom promotions, it's not the most honest or empathetic who rise. It's the most audacious, strategic, and often manipulative. Jung warned that identification with the persona, mistaking the mask for the self, leads to neurosis and inner emptiness. And yet, modern systems push people to do exactly that. And that's not a glitch. That's the system. Now picture the empath, the one who feels too much. According to Jung, they embody the anima or shadow, the repressed emotional side of society. Empaths seek understanding, not dominance. But in a world built on performance, their depth is often seen as weakness. When they speak out, they're called too sensitive. When they stay silent, they're ignored. And worse, narcissists often prey on empaths. They drain their energy, gaslight their reality. Why? Because empaths give what narcissists crave: attention, validation, and forgiveness. Jung believed the shadow must be acknowledged and integrated, not suppressed, if we are to become whole. Empaths often carry this shadow not because they are weak, but because they are conscious of what others ignore. Modern systems are based on power, speed, and visibility. The empath's world, emotional depth, reflection, quiet strength, doesn't fit easily in a job interview, a TikTok reel, or a political debate. So society sets up a reward system. Narcissists, praised as confident leaders; empaths, labeled soft, emotional, or not assertive enough. Even schools and workplaces teach children to speak up and sell yourself. But no one teaches you how to listen deeply, how to sit with someone's pain, or how to be real without packaging it for an algorithm. Carl Jung warned, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But becoming your true self is hard when society tells you to be someone else. Here's the paradox. Narcissists win in the short term, but often suffer in the long run. Why? Because when you build a life on a false self, the real self atrophies. The world may clap, but inside there's emptiness. Studies show narcissists have fragile egos, unstable relationships, and high anxiety. It's a hollow crown. They're addicted to admiration, but terrified of intimacy. They dominate, but can't connect. They win, but don't feel fulfilled. So why does society still uplift them? Because the system prefers predictable personas over integrated individuals. Jung said that a society built on masks breeds psychological fragmentation. Real wholeness requires confrontation with the unconscious, not applause from the crowd. Empaths often retreat. They choose solitude over noise. But in doing so, they disappear from the societal stage. Jung would say they are not less than, they are carriers of the unconscious, the shadow, the soul of culture. They represent the parts of the psyche that society disowns but desperately needs. Empaths are the quiet revolutionaries, the ones who heal trauma, who read between lines, who feel what others are too distracted to notice. Yet without power, their voices are muted. This is the cost of a world that worships the mask and silences the mirror. But you're still wondering, if being kind turns into a liability, if being sensitive gets you overlooked, then what are you supposed to do? Should you become like them, louder, colder, more ruthless? Or is there a different path, one that doesn't betray who you are? Let's go deeper. Let's ask not just why, but what now? Because if you've ever been told you're too sensitive, this part is for you. You're not weak. You're not broken. You just have a nervous system that listens louder. Science shows empaths have hyper-responsive mirror neurons and heightened emotional sensitivity. You literally feel the world more than others do. That's a strength, but it needs boundaries, because feeling everything doesn't mean you have to carry everything. So now, let's break this down, practically. How do you protect your energy without losing your empathy? Why are narcissists so easy to spot, but so hard to resist? And how can Jung's teachings help turn your emotional pain into power? These aren't just questions, they're keys. Keys to stop feeling drained, confused, or punished. Keys to stop apologizing for who you are and start understanding the power hidden inside it.
Some people don't just drain you by accident. They know how to. Guilt trip you, love bomb you, make everything about them. These are often narcissists or people with narcissistic traits. So here's a hard truth. If you don't set the boundary, they'll set the rules. Ask yourself, who in your life makes you feel not enough? Who only reaches out when they need something? Who twists your words and makes you doubt yourself? These people aren't confused. They're feeding off your empathy. Empaths often fear becoming cold or mean by setting boundaries, but boundaries aren't about rejection. They're about selection, choosing what enters your space. A healthy boundary says, I can love you and still say no. I can care without sacrificing myself. This is the key shift. Don't stop being kind. Just stop being available to chaos. Think of your empathy like a sacred fire. Not everyone deserves to sit near it. A question many empaths ask. How do I stop absorbing everyone else's pain? Here's how. You don't need to block emotions. You need to process them. Meditation isn't escape, it's detox. Journaling isn't weakness, it's release. Silence isn't avoidance, it's healing. Jung believed the unconscious speaks through dreams, symbols, and silence. To sit with yourself is to hear the parts of you the world never taught you to listen to. And here's the secret. When you learn to hold space for your own pain, you stop needing to carry everyone else's. Empathy doesn't mean becoming a sponge. It means becoming a mirror, reflecting truth without losing yourself. Why do narcissists rise? Because they believe they deserve to, even if that belief is built on illusion. Empaths, on the other hand, often wait for permission to speak, to lead, to exist without guilt. That ends today. You don't need permission to be powerful. You don't need to explain your kindness. You don't need to prove your worth to someone who profits from your doubt. Real power doesn't shout. It radiates, quietly, unshakably, like the sun. Society has told you a story. Be less emotional, toughen up, play the game, or be left behind. But here's a better truth. Your softness is not your weakness. It's your superpower. You weren't made to fit in a broken world. You were made to help heal it. And healing begins when you stop apologizing for who you are. Yes, narcissists rise fast, but they also fall hard. Empaths rise slowly, but when they do, they lift others with them. That's the kind of power the world desperately needs, and the kind only you can bring. So here's what to remember. You're not crazy for feeling everything. You're not weak for walking away from toxic people. You're not here to fix everyone. You're here to be you. Let the narcissists chase the spotlight. You build the fire. Because in a cold, performative world, genuine warmth is power. If this resonated with you, leave a comment. Not for me, but for the empaths still questioning their worth. Tell them, you're not alone. You're not broken. And the world needs your heart, now more than ever.